Hey kids, Dad here. It is Sunday, May 24th, 2026, 12:54 p.m. It's the day before Memorial Day. And it's already been a wild weekend. Um, Tomorrow's Memorial Day. I've been asked to go speak at a Memorial Day event. So that'll be interesting. So I already knew it was going to be kind of a 3-day long weekend with that, with kind of a unique thing on Monday. Then yesterday was something called Gopher State Roundup. It's a big convention in Bloomington. I think this year it sounds like almost 6,000 people were there. The last number I heard correctly was almost 6,000 people there, and they're all people who are sober, who don't drink, don't do drugs, and a lot of them are the same people that I see every morning at 7 a.m. every day. Those magical 100 or so men. And so I ended up going down to the hotel where the big convention is. I was able to bring one of the residents here from Bravo Zulu House, and he's pretty new to Bravo Zulu House, very new to Minnesota. He's from Kansas, and very new to sobriety. And getting to bring him down there or drive him up there, 2 hours up there to Bloomington, I was pretty excited about that because last year was my first year. I went for the first time last year. I'd only been sober about 6 months at the time. So I was pretty new to sobriety as well. This whole way of life, prayer, meditation, getting close to God, looking at ourselves and our part in things, our defects, making amends for the things I was wrong about, the people that I wronged, working with others, mentoring people who are just starting off. All that was brand new stuff to me. And all I knew is that there was these magical 100 men every morning that were helping me immensely to become a better person. And so chance to go back this year again, I was looking forward to it, right? I get to bring this guy, I'll just call him JR. He knew this new Bravo Zulu House guy. Well, fairly new. He's been around for 2-3 months now. But it was exciting. This kid's got a big heart, right? And he's been working really hard, doing all the right things. He's been one of our just magical residents here, just showing the heart and dedication, how serious and focused and dedicated he is to doing the right thing. So I got to bring him up there. That was a treat. And he got to meet for the first time all these guys, because he goes to the same morning meeting. And he'd heard of these guys, and he'd met a couple when they came down here to the house for that service day when we did last weekend, when we did all that landscaping. But now we got to meet the rest of them, and it was pretty cool. Just kind of watching him out of the corner of my eye, seeing him just lit up. So the interesting thing is, and I can already warn you, this video is going to run a little bit long, but here comes the important stuff. I ran into a gentleman. I will protect his anonymity and tell you his name is Tom H. I ran into Tom H. And Tom H is on my gratitude list. So yes, this is a long-winded, roundabout way of saying I'm continuing this gratitude series. And Tom H is on my gratitude list. He is named number 34 on my list for a reason. I added him 1 year ago today. Added him May 24, 2025. And I know that because it says Tom H on my list with his full last name. 25-05-24. And then it says, for the reason column, I have written Gopher State Gas. So the reason I have that is I initially, when I first met Tom, when I first saw him on these Zoom meetings, these support group meetings, he had the same last name as a kid I went to high school with. So that kind of caught my eye. I went to high school with a kid named Charles H. And I didn't know if they were related or not. Actually, I don't think they are. But that kind of caught my eye. It kind of seemed like a little God wink. Some of those little coincidences you run into sometimes that I am convinced are not coincidences anymore. But he was an old guy, like 70-year-old guy, and he was an old Navy guy. He was in the Navy, I don't know, a lifetime ago, and he had a very calm way about him, very thoughtful, very deliberative. A man who chose his words very carefully, clearly, who spent a lot of time thinking about his words, his actions, and had a sense of genuine warmth to him. So I immediately liked him. And I had never really met him for my first about 6 months on those meetings. I would listen to him. I may talk to him one or two times on the phone, just getting to know him. Probably him calling me, getting to know me, honestly, because I was overwhelmed. There's so many men to get to know. But every time he spoke, I listened up, and I really admired him. And last year at Gopher State, 2025, it was I went down there on a Friday night for my first time, and I got to do the whole see it for the first time, and wow, this hotel full of thousands and thousands of people, and everyone's got these little hospitality suites. So it's like all around the pool of the hotel, all those rooms have different support groups in them, and they've all got food, and they're all laughing, and they're all joking around. And I go to the room that my group has, and there's 30 guys in there, and we're all hugging and I'm meeting people in person, and they're three-dimensional. Oh my gosh, I've only ever seen you on Zoom, and it's so cool to meet you in person. And these guys come in from Iowa, Florida, Louisiana, New York. They come in from all over the country for this. It's a big deal, right? It's kind of the big once a year event for Minnesota. And so I ended up I went down on a Friday, and at that time, kids, I had just filed bankruptcy about three months prior to that. I had less than no money. I had negative money. I owed people money because divorce is very, very expensive. And I did not go about it in the smartest way possible. I didn't know what I was doing. I ended up with a lot of money that I owed. So I was basically what we call bankrupt. And I had, at any given moment, maybe a couple $100 in the bank, if that. Kids will learn about something called child support someday. Hopefully by the time you see this video, you'll understand child support. So when I got my paycheck, I didn't have much left for me, because they took out money to help pay for you kids. Then I had to pay for rent to have a place to live. And I would have just enough left for groceries, pay my cell phone bill, and maybe $25, $50 left over. So I went to Gopher State last Friday. I had $8 in my wallet, and I had about a quarter tank of gas. And I was thinking in my head, well, even though I paid $30 for a ticket to come for the whole weekend, to come Friday and then Saturday, it's going to cost me some of that gas out of my tank, and I only have $8 left. And if I come back on Saturday, I'm not going to have enough gas to make it to jiu-jitsu, because I don't get paid till the next Friday. So I really got about $8 for a week. And I can either come back to Gopher State, or I can have enough gas to go to jiu-jitsu on the next week. And I think I had an American Legion meeting too. So I'm thinking my gas situation, right? So I'm thinking I might not be able to afford the gas to go back to Gopher State for a second night. So on May 24th, that Friday night, Tom H comes up to me. He gives me a hug, and so good to see you. And he looks at me and he says, and nobody could have known how much money I had in my wallet. But he looks at me and he says, God gave me a little whisper that maybe you could use this. And he shook my hand, and I could tell there was something in it. In the military, we do a lot of handshakes with a coin in there, so I'm kind of used to it. So I recognized there's something. So I just put my hand in my pocket, whatever it was, a little note, something, piece of paper. But when I get a chance privately, I pulled it out, took a look at it. It was a $50 bill, a $50 bill. And the prideful person in me would say, I don't need charity. I don't need handout. I don't need help. I very rarely asked for help from anybody financially. I have at times. I've had to. Your grandma, grandpa, a couple of occasions. But throughout my life, I very, very rarely. And a lot of that's because of my pride, right? My pride, my ego. that leads me to not want to ask for help like that, or not want to accept help, because I want to build one who can provide for others. But that $50 that Friday night, on my way back home then, at the end of that night, back to St. Paul where I was living at the time, I stopped at a gas station. I used that $50 to fill up my truck with gas, and then I saved about the other about $20. And I was able to go back to Gopher State that Saturday because of that. And that Saturday, I spent the entire day, just like I did yesterday, spent that entire day with all those men, and getting to see speakers, people speaking at the convention. I used the other $20 to buy some merchandise. I believe I bought a little keychain that holds, and I don't know where it is right here, but it holds a coin. It holds a very special coin on my keychains that whenever I have my car keys with me, that coin is right on my car keys. It's a special one. I'll tell you about that one separately sometime. But Tom H., my gratitude for Tom H. is because he's the reason I was able to go back to Gopher State that second day. He gave me some random gas money. He didn't even realize it. He just somehow had the intuition to know that I could really use it in that moment. And that, to me, it wasn't just the fact of getting to go back the second day. It was the example he set. He showed me the example of him being a man who is clearly close to his understanding of God and how he listens to that God. And he does the right thing. He has nothing in return. He looks for that person in the room who may be hurting, could really use the help, and he does it. And he does it in a way that there's no strings attached. He does it in a way that's not looking for accolades. It's not looking for a celebration. It's not looking for a giant thank you. It's just looking for being able to provide that help and then maybe giving them a hug. And that meant the world to me at the time. And knowing there's guys like Tom H. out there gave me a lot of hope that as long as I just keep doing the next right thing, showing up at the right places, helping out the right people, being honest, hitting my knees every morning, trying to understand this mysterious God that I still haven't figured out yet. If I keep doing that, life's going to be okay. That God will provide what I need when I need it in some way through some delivery person like Tom was in that moment. And that for me is what made Gopher State so special last year. This year, I got to pay it forward a little bit. I got to drive JR up there. We took the long way home, an extra 45 minutes, because he'd never seen Minneapolis or St. Paul. So I drove him through Minneapolis, drove him past the Twin Stadium, where he's going to get to raise the flag this fall. Things this kid had never seen. He was all excited. He had the best day of his life yesterday. And in that sense, I got to pay forward that gas money that Tom helped me out with. I didn't even know it was gas money at the time. My guess is Tom just saw a kid who was doing his best, and Tom probably knew I was financially struggling. Because a lot of guys in my situation probably would have been. But I sure hadn't told anybody that. That's the crazy thing. I don't want people to know. I don't want people to feel sorry for me. I just wanted to fit in and be like everybody else. Didn't want charity. Didn't want anybody feeling sorry for me. Since that time, obviously, I've continued to grow closer and closer with Tom H. He's a big inspiration. He was one of the men who had gone to Demontreville, that 4-day silent retreat that I went to last fall, where I had that miracle, Fiona with the deer, and Mother Mary praying for you. He was a big influence in that. He was one of 2 guys I knew who had gone there. It inspired me, and I talked to him before I went there about it, and got some more info, and made the decision. Yeah, that'd be good. I should do that. And I get the privilege to bump into Tom now every couple of months. He was down here for that service day. I got to give him a little tour of the house, show him where I lived, and give him some hugs. And yeah, so anyhow, this is running long. But Tom H. from Minnesota here, old Navy guy who knows God, who knows sobriety, has taught me an immense amount, not by preaching it, but by living it. And I am deeply grateful to have mentors and friends like Tom in my life now. Inspires me every day. All I have to do is turn my life, my will over to God, do the next right thing, pay forward these gifts people have given to me, do my best to be the best version of myself that I can be, and God takes care of the rest. And He puts some amazing people in relationships in my life, and Tom is absolutely one of them. So anyhow, thinking of you kids today, I'm going to go hit the road, literally, go for a run, see how far these legs got in them today. And I'll be thinking of you kids the whole time. Love you. We'll talk soon.